Welcome to today's webinar. We're going to be talking about how to become a listing machine with FSBOs and expireds with our host and coach, Darryl Davis. To get the most out of today's webinar, we want you to take really good notes and text any of your questions using that control panel. We're going to take as many as we can at the end.
You can. And I just want to say, because I think there's going to be a lot of questions, I'm not bouncing after the webinar. So if while I'm doing the webinar, you want to ask your questions, write it in the chat like you're doing now. And then at the end, Julie will start reading those off in the order that they came in. Okay. Go ahead, Jules.
Perfect. If you want to reach us anytime after today's webinar, you can reach us on all social media channels at Darryl Speaks. Darryl's the author of 3 books, all published by McGraw-Hill Publishers. That first one you see there, How to Become a Power Agent in Real Estate, is actually the #1 selling book to real estate agents on Amazon. Darryl was just named one of Risk Media's real estate newsmakers for this year in the inspiration category, the big-hearted and brave. We're very proud. Darryl's also the recipient of the coveted CSP designation by the National Speakers Association, which is only awarded to less than 2% of speakers worldwide. On that note, Darryl, I'm excited about today's webinar. Take it away.
Thanks, Julie. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. We welcome you to this webinar. I start off every session the same way, which is to address this question, because we have some new people on the webinar. You know, is this webinar a sales pitch? That absolutely not. You are going to get a tremendous amount of value, but I do want to be clear with you. This webinar is a weekly series webinar that we do for our power agents. Our power agents are people who are in our coaching program. And the reason why I'm saying that is some of you are guests on the call. So from time to time, I'm going to have like a sidebar conversation with the power agents to tell them where something is or whatever. But we're so glad that you're here. You're going to still get a tremendous amount of value. I will say at the end of the webinar, that little domain or that website there at the bottom, if you want to decide what to become power agent, you'll have that opportunity, but we'll cover that at the end. But in the meantime, just right up front, 30 seconds, so I can get the question out of your head for the guests, like what is a power agent? This is our monthly membership. Because of the COVID-19, we've lowered the price to the $47 instead of charging what it's really worth of $197. But because you're a guest on this webinar, you can actually participate in the program for $5 to get everything, full access to the entire website, get bonuses today. Part of those bonuses is a recording and a copy of today's slides, and there's so much more. So the $5 is pretty awesome. I do have some announcements, big news I want to talk to everybody about. First one for the power agents. I just want to remind you, this is a post from Lillian in the closed group of the Facebook closed group, where she was looking for a lead or for she's got sellers who are moving to North Carolina. She was looking for a power agent in that area. And I'm going to tell you, power agents, I'm just reminding you, especially the new ones, that we launched the Power Agent Directory a few months ago. You really need to make sure you fill that out, because a lot of power agents are starting to get referral business from other power agents in a huge way. And I just want to point out, when you log into the site and you click at the top of the directory, you'll see a little button that says update my profile, and then you go to this page where you can individually make whatever changes that you want. Make sure that you put in where it says area served over there on the left, it's like a few down, and list every town that you service, because when somebody types in that town in the keyword search, you'll pop up. The next announcement I want to say is, 2020 is been a good year for the real estate industry, but not so great because of other things, one of them being the pandemic. There's been a lot of talk about the pandemic and the virus and the vaccines and masks and da-da-da-da. But something that we just learned in our company recently is, because of the pandemic, food insecurity is off the charts. It's more than doubled. Food banks are having a real problem. They're empty, and et cetera. And as a matter of fact, it doesn't even matter what income level you're in. Even people who are in the higher end brackets, they're seeing food insecurity. But in a lot of places, it's more than double. So here's the reason why I'm sharing this, is because any chance I have to get the word out, I want to, because it's not being covered enough. So one of the things that we've done here at our company is we've set a goal to pay for 100,000 meals by the summer. And how we're doing that is we're taking 100% of all of our trial revenue, the $5, to kick the tires, and it's going towards feeding families. So that's what we're trying to do, to bring awareness and make a difference. As of today, I just checked the numbers before the webinar. We're at 14. We've already sponsored 14,000 meals, and that's for people like you. It's all coming from power agents. That's where the money is. So, okay. Now, let's get into this content. So there's some webinars that we do wide, like we cover a little bit of everything, and then there's some where we go really deep. Today's webinar is deep when it comes to the FSBO and expired in the dialogue. We're going to go through that dialogue with you guys. And as a matter of fact, I want to just outline with you right now what this webinar, what we're going to cover. There's 4 points. First, I'm going to talk about mastering the telephone. I'm going to show you the dialogue to use. Second thing is, we're going to talk a little bit about mailings, on how you can use mailings to help you in working FSBOs and expireds. Number 3 is I'm going to give you some really great ideas on how to improve your listing conversation, because the thing about it, I'm going to teach right now. The thing about a for sale by owner is, the reason why they're a for sale by owner is because they don't see the value in working with a realtor, period, end of story, stick a pin in it. So the main focus of a conversation with a for sale by owner is to get them to see the value in working with realtor. That's until they see that, anything you say is not going to make an impact. So I'm going to give you some tips on how to do that today, and about getting super organized to stay focused. So those are the 4 things I'm going to teach. First is I'm going to go into mastering the telephone. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with me, I just want to tell you, let me back out of this for a second. I want to just tell you that some speakers focus on niches, like they're really good at certain things. Some are good at luxury properties, or some are on social media. Kate Lance, for example, when it comes to social media, she's an awesome speaker on that. My strength is for sale by owners and expireds. In our industry, when it comes to speakers, this is my niche. And just to validate that point, this is a picture of the last live. Every year in January, we would do what was called the Listing Inventory Intensive. And we have over 700 people, because that's the most we can fit in that hotel at the Marriott. Anyway, it's at that session where I actually call FSBOs live from the stage. I pipe my cell phone through the speakers so everybody can hear me and the for sale by owner. And my batting average last time, when I speak to 4 FSBOs, I schedule 3 appointments. Our power agent average, when they use the dialogue that I give them, their average is, if you speak to 4, you should schedule 2. Now, we've had some power agents who've actually done better. So Erica Bassett, for example, this is a post that she just did February 3rd. You see that on the screen? And she wrote 7 FSBO calls so far in February. 2 led to conversations. 2 conversations led to 2 appointments. So she actually did a 2 for 2. So I'm going to show you power agents and guests what the dialogue is. That really, really works, okay? The first thing I want to cover, though, is to get this out of the way. And I'm sure you don't care about this because you're on this webinar, but some of you may have the question, which is, can you call FSBOs and expireds on the do not call list? Some of you are from New York. New York has a state of emergency, and there's bad information. I'm going to say bad information, all capital letters, saying that you cannot call for sale by owners, and that's coming from NYSAR, and it's wrong. It's just period. It's wrong. So, but here's my disclaimer. I should start with this, is that I'm not an attorney. So I'm just giving you my 30 years of experience. And because this is my specialty, like if you want to learn how to fix your car, you don't come to me, you go to a mechanic. If you want to master FSBOs and expired, you come to me, you don't go to a mechanic, and you don't go to an association. This is what I do, okay? And I'm going to show you the New York State with the fines, which is the same. Do not call us. It's the same. Just because it's New York State, it's still the same. No telemarketer or seller can make an unsolicited telemarketing sales to any customer that when that customer's telephone number is on the national do not call list. So the key word in this whole sentence is that unsolicited. So if somebody's on the do not call list, or we're in a state of emergency and you cannot make unsolicited calls, that you cannot do, okay? But when it comes to a FSBO, it's not unsolicited because the homeowner is advertising in a public place. Here's my phone number. Call me. I have a house to sell. So therefore, it doesn't apply. One other thing, even in the do not call list, it even defines what an unsolicited call. It means any telemarketing sales call other than a call made in response to an express written or verbal request. A FSBO is an express written request for phone calls. Okay, now, one other thing I forgot to say about this disclaimer. The only exception to everything that I just said is your broker. So it goes like this. It goes from God to Department of State licensing, your broker, and then you. You'll notice the associations don't play in that hierarchy because associations are political organizations. They're not legal organizations. Your license law is your legal, right? So with that said, I'm going to continue. I don't want to get lost in that anymore. You do what your broker says to do. There's my opinion. Now we move on. The Magic FSBO dialogue. This is the dialogue that will really make a difference in you being more effective with for sale owners and expireds. And one of our power agents from a really great organization, large real estate company called Howard Hanna Real Estate. So I love Darryl's FSBO dialogue. I actually find that FSBOs are nicer during the pandemic. I listed 5 FSBOs in one weekend. And the reason why I believe they're nicer is because they see the value in working with a realtor. I think what's happened with this pandemic, part of the reason why our industry has done well is because it's actually highlighted how important you are as a real estate professional to helping buyers and sellers work the maze of real estate. So I do think even for sale owners, that's why Erica probably made 2 calls, had 2 conversations with FSBO, got 2 appointments because they're more open to working with us. Now, power agents, I do want to talk to you on the side for a second. When you go to the classroom on the website, and then there's the tabs that are alphabetical, one of the tabs being prospecting, you're going to see a ton of dialogue, right? You'll look at the screen. There's just from left to right. I'm not going to go through all of them. Intro call to your farm area, door knocking, expired. Go down a couple. There's the orphan dialogue. There's a book of business. And there's even more than just this. There's so much dialogue there. We're going to focus on the FSBO dialogue and the expired. I do want to remind the power agents that every Monday there's a coaching call that's live with me every Monday at 11 o'clock Eastern time. The power agents, the reason why I'm reminding you of this is because when we start going into the dialogue, here's the dialogue. You're going to start to apply it, right? You're going to go out into the world, start calling. You're going to have some questions because this one said that, and there was this objection. You're wondering how to handle it. I want you to be, let me go back. I want you to be on the Monday call because that's the place to role play with me, to ask me questions. We record those calls. That's every Monday. And usually the 12:30 goes even longer. But let's look at the dialogue, break it down. So I'm just going to go through it. I can't possibly handle every objection. We only have an hour and I have so much more to give you. Step 1 is identify. Step 2, introduce. Step 3, clarify. So let me demonstrate. Hi, I'm calling about the house for sale. They say, yes. Is the house still available? Well, yes, it is. Well, hi, this is Darryl Davis, Power Realty. How are you? Let me just stick with the number 1 and 2. Why do you do it this way? I'm going to tell you why. This is very magical when I'm teaching you. Let's say you don't do this dialogue. All right. As a matter of fact, let me actually take it off the screen just so you focus on me right now. Let's pretend you call a for sale owner. You start like this. Ring, ring. They go, hello. You go, yes, hi. My name's Darryl Davis from Power Realty. How are you? And here's what will happen. A couple of things will happen. Hold on a second. Ma, Dad, there's a realtor on the phone about the house. Tell them we're gone. We're not here. All right. Or they'll say like that. Hi, this is Darryl, this is Power Realty. How are you? Fine. The house is sold. All right. So they've learned, because FSBOs have their own training course. People don't know this. Yes, it's created in the 19th century by a Frenchman. His name was Jacques FSBO. And Jacques teaches FSBOs, you want to get rid of a realtor, you tell them the house is already sold. So let's go back to the dialogue. So just so you understand the concept here. So ring, ring. They say hello. Say, hi, I'm calling about the house for sale. Yes. If they say yes, when you say I'm calling about the house for sale, you know you're talking to the owner. If you weren't, here's what would happen. Hi, I'm calling about the house for sale. Hold on a second. Ma, someone's on the phone about the house for sale. Okay, so now I'm calling about the house for sale. Yes. Is the house still available? Well, yes, it is. Well, hi, this is Darryl Davis, Power Realty. How are you? So I got rid of Jacques FSBOs' objection of telling people it's already sold by that second part. Yes, well, hi, this is Darryl Davis, Power Realty. How are you? Fine. Now, by the way, here's the funny thing is, boy, I wish I had so much more time with you guys than just this hour. Listen, what happens when you'll hear sometimes their voice changes from step 2 to step 3, because once they know that you're a real estate agent, all of a sudden they change what do you want? Especially if they're Jersey people in New York, they get nasty. So, hi, I'm calling about the house for sale. Yes, is the house still available? Yes, it is. Well, hi, this is Darryl Davis, Power Realty. Yes, what do you want? Well, the reason why I was calling, back to the reason why I was calling is I noticed your ad, your sign, whatever, and I was wondering, are you working brokers to sell your property? And some of them will say, yes, bring me a buyer and I'll pay you a commission. If they say that, you continue the dialogue. If they say, no, we're doing this on our own. Oh, okay, good. So you are trying to do it on your own then. You see the dialogue right there. You'll see it says yes, no, or maybe. If they say, yeah, I'm working with a broker, they don't explain it. Yeah, we're working with brokers. Do you currently have it listed? Because sometimes the FSBO ad and they list it and there's come scam. It's they're a FSBO and they just listed last night. So you're calling on an ad and you don't know. So you want to clarify, right? Is a house currently listed with a broker? No. If you have a buyer, you can bring them. Oh, okay, great. Continue. No, we're not working with brokers. So you are trying to sell it on your own? Yes, we are. Now, if you get a nasty person because they're from Jersey or New York, I could say that. I'm a New Yorker. If you get a nasty one, they say, no, we're not working with brokers. Didn't you see my ad said no agent? That's why we're doing it. Well, you guys are ripoffs. Okay, so I'm just curious. Is that because you want to save the brokerage fee? Yeah, you guys charge too much. You do nothing. Oh, okay, good. And then you just continue. That's it. Let me go. Where's my little click over here? Oh, well, I'm looking at a copy of the ad, and the house sounds lovely. By the way, did you write this ad yourself? Yes, I did, because I've sold things before. Oh, okay, good. Now, here's what you do. You just start proceeding. Now, here's the part, step 4, where there's no script. So I'm going to go back. This script, don't mess with it. It's scientifically, it's been time and tested over and over again by thousands and thousands of calls. I'm not blowing smoke. It's true. Don't mess with that. This over here, now it's like dancing. You know when you know how to dance? I like to dance. So when you know how to dance, you get on the dance floor. You're not doing a dance with the stars with a routine, right? You make up the dance on the spot. How you feel. Same thing here. We're building a relationship. You don't worry about the steps. You just ask questions from your heart. Let me give you some example questions. Don't ask them in this order. You have a conversation. You ask questions about bedrooms and baths, any improvements to the house. Do they have a basement? Is it finished? What's the property size? Now, a little side tip here. You want to ask questions that are related to the ad. So whatever you see in the ad, if you can make a question from the ad. Oh, I see it's got 4 bedrooms. Can I ask you, the bedrooms all upstairs or you got 2 up and 2 down? Something like that. So try and use the ad as the bridging thing. Let me go back. I want to just really highlight something very important. Do you see the title of step 4? What does step 4 say? Come on, say it. Make believe I can hear you. Talk to the screen. Very good. Build a relationship. That's key. Let me tell you something right now. That one of the other secret things, power agents and guests, is that when you're making a phone call, do not be committed to getting an appointment. If you do that, you put too much stress on yourself. Be committed to building a relationship with another human being. Focus on that. If you focus on building a relation on another human being, a couple of things will happen. Number 1 is it'll take a focus off of you doing it the right way, which will have less stress in your life. Number 2, in order for you to build a relationship with another human being, you got to ask questions. That's the only way you can build a relationship. So that'll help you get better at asking questions. And by the last thing is, if you build a really good relationship with this homeowner, the appointment will happen by itself. You see? So here's some examples of questions. Bedrooms, we already did this. Now, when you get really good with this, you go to the next level of questions, which is talking about their commitment. Where are you folks moving to? What do you like best about where you're moving to? Have you seen any houses there? What type of house those are a little bit more personal, you see. So I'm going back. You start with questions about the current home. And if you feel like you broke down that barrier, now you want to go to this. If you could go to this, asking about where they're moving to, their commitment to their next level, man, that's bing, mic drop. You're going to get that appointment. Okay. Now, let's talk about how to ask for the appointment. Step 5 is, would you be offended if I just stopped by? Let me tell you something. I don't know. This, for some reason, this is like pixie dust, like Disney World, like magical. Would you be offended if I stop? Offended? Would you be offended if I just stopped by to see your house? No, I wouldn't be offended. There's something about that word offended. It works like a charm. Unless it's a New Yorker, because I'm offended. You called me. Yes, I would. Anyway, if I had a buyer who, here's another way to answer the point. If I had a buyer who's willing to pay your price and pay my commission, could we work together? What do you care, right? If I had a buyer who's willing to pay your price and pay my fee, could we work together? It is possible. Some kids do that, but first I need to see the house. Let me show you some other things. I'm not going to go through these. I want to just, I have the slides because I'm going to tell everybody how to get a copy of these slides, okay? So I'm just going to burn through this, but you'll have the slide. Is the reason why you're trying to sell it on your own to save the commission? Yes. Well, if I can help you get to Hana, wherever they said they're going to go, right? And you wouldn't have to pay a fee out of the money you needed to make the move a success. Would that be of interest to you? Yes. Well, it is possible to do that. First, I need to see the house. That's another way of doing it. Okay. Let me show you another one. If I had a buyer who's willing to pay your price and payment commission, could work together. I've already said that. So that's a redundant one from the other page. This one here. Now, listen, get the concept. Wrap your brain around this. Which, by the way, I'm going to black out the screen. The screen's blacked out because I don't want you to read. I want you to listen to me right now. I don't want to jump over to listen. Is that right? What I'm going to show you is a concept. You do not read this dialogue. You don't. It's a concept. Watch the concept. Ms. Hannah, you're letting complete strangers into your home, correct? Well, simply look at me as one of those people. But with me, I'm perhaps the safest appointment you could give. Why? Because I'm a licensed agent in the state of whatever to help people get their property sold. Not to mention the fact I possibly could have 2, 3, even 5 buyers who could be interested in your property. So by letting me in, not only am I the safest person to come into the house, but it's like letting 5 people in, buyers, at the same time. So if you've got nothing to lose, everything to gain. There's the concept. Now, here's what I want you to really put in your head. If they're letting these complete strangers in the house, they don't know if they can afford the house for free. Why the heck wouldn't they let you in? Because you're safe, you're licensed, you've got knowledge, you've got experience, you've got a possible buy. I mean, they got nothing to lose and everything to gain. Come on, you just should almost be shocked if they don't give you an appointment. So you use your words. Now, I'll tell you something, Power Agents. You know I'm not about scripts, but when it comes to the telephone, I want you to really stick with this. But at some point, eventually, you start talking from your heart, and that's when you're going to get really good at this. Voicemail dialogue, very simple. Hi, this is Darryl Davis from Power Realty. Don't say Darryl Davis. Use your own name. A little webinar joke. The reason why I was calling is I didn't know you're selling your house, and I have some important information about that. I might even have somebody who would be interested. I'm not sure because I need to get some more information first. Could you please call me back as soon as possible? Bing. It's a little teaser to make them to call you back. That's that dialogue. Now, Power Agents, I want to talk to you. Sidebar to the Power Agents guest. Give me a second. Power Agents, when you go to the webinar section of the Power Program website, one of the webinars I did is how to stay focused on high priority activities. You'll see the date there. It says February 3rd. We just did it. This is one of my favorites because I had some really great content in this. It was a lot of new stuff. And one of the things I created for you was texting scripts. And I talked about with FSBOs how to text them if they don't respond. So there's scripts there. We're not going over that today, but it's there for you. All right. Some other concepts of working with buyers is you may not get them the first time. So be patient. Don't beat yourself up. You got to work it. Their buyers, when they say we have buyers for how we don't need you, listen, their buyers may not be buyers. Okay, they're lookers. There's no right time to call because I get that question a lot. When should I call? Anytime. You should call as often as possible. So there's no right time. It's the time that you're going to actually do it. Don't focus on that little voice. The little voice inside your head. That's the oh, come on, that little voice. That's a problem, that little voice, because that little voice is where fear lives. That listen to, I'm going to stop talking. Listen to the voice in your head. Listen, go. Do you hear it? There it goes again. Some of you are like, what the heck voice is he talking about? That's the one I'm talking about. It's always talking to you. And sometimes it talks to you just before you're ready to make the call about, I don't want to do this. I should get a real job. This is too painful. Don't listen to that voice. Be in action. Look at one of Catherine. I love this. Catherine, she just January 30th, she posted this we have a closed group for our Power Agents. And she said, hi all, I broke down and faced my fear of calling FSBOs. I have my first appointment. I don't have anyone but you all to share this with. So thanks for listening. I think that's just the cutest thing, Catherine. Thank you so much. Look at the comments. She got 41 comments. She got a lot of it inspired people. So listen, you know what I said? Let me tell you something. You know the best part of calling FSBOs is not getting the appointment, getting the listen, or making the money. It's you overcoming fear and having a breakthrough in who you are as a person. That's fun when that happens. Okay. Number 6 is get past the 60-second hump. So what the 60-second, first of all, let me show you something. Erica Bassett, the one that got the 2 listings out of 2 appointments, she got some more appointments. This is another post she did. And she said, I wonder how many agents call FSBOs and they took the no. And I know I'm the only agent that I'm willing to see the private stuff account. Anyway, I'm editing what she said here because I have to read the whole paragraph. The point of her text or post in the group was the FSBO originally said no, and she kept pushing in the call, and turns out that they know each other. She got the appointment. And Larry Gardner, one of our superpower agents, he said, Darryl always talks about the 60-second dialogue, meaning that the 60-second hump is where the FSBOs are mean in the beginning. If they're mean, it's always in the first 60 seconds. But what happens is most agents don't last past 60 seconds. So what happens is the FSBO has gotten really good at that 60 seconds over and over and over again with all the agents calling, and then the agent hangs up. What happens if you can hang on, like the mechanical bull in a bar when we used to do that, like I did that all the time. The mechanical bull, you got to hold on. If you hold on for 60 seconds with the FSBO call, all of a sudden you have a breakthrough. Your odds of getting the appointment dramatically go through the roof if you hang on for 60 seconds. Okay, give yourself permission to fail. Don't worry. Listen, Warren Buffett taught me this. Success is the worst teacher. You only learn from your mistakes. You become stronger. By the way, breakdown equals breakthrough. Every challenge that you have, every call, every hang-up is an opportunity for you to have a breakthrough and get better. Francine said, I called 3 FSBOs yesterday. I got more confident today. I called 8 FSBOs and talked to 3 out of the 8. This is great. This is another power agent that just posted this. Okay. Now, let's go on. Make sure decision makers are home. So when you set the appointment, make sure they're home. Buyers, both Mr. and Mrs. or Mrs. and Mrs. or Mr. and Mr. It's a new world. Make sure you have enough time for the entire listening conversation. However much time you need. I needed 2 hours because I wore people down. So I wanted to make sure that they didn't have any plans. All right, let's look at some old expired dialogue. I got a lot to teach you. I'm halfway through, meaning we got to go fast here. Step 1, may I speak? So this is the old FSBO. May I speak with Hannah? Well, hi, this is Darryl Davis, Power Realty. How are you? The reason why I was calling on record, so you tried selling your home, 6 months ago, 3 months ago. Is that correct? Yes. Well, the reason why I'm calling is because my company listed a lot of homes in the area around the same time. When you were selling, those homes did sell. Can I ask you, where were you folks? Were you folks thinking of selling again? Where were you thinking of moving to? So anyway, you go back to old FSBOs. You see what happened. Some of the FSBOs that tried selling 6 months ago, if they didn't sell, it's probably because they were too overpriced. But now the market's caught up, and so they're good to follow. Nobody else is calling them. And there's a whole bunch of different ways of getting in the door with those guys. The reason why you're trying to settle was it because you wanted to save the commission? If I can help you get to Florida, you wouldn't have to pay a fee. It's impossible. Anyway, this is pretty much the same as what we've said earlier. Although number 4 is this is to bring life again. If it made financial sense, would you reconsider moving? So that's number 4 is different from the other ones because that's, again, maybe they're not selling and you call them, then no, we're still not selling. So ask them, well, if I could help you, if it made sense to you financially, would you consider? Okay. Now let's talk about the expired. The thing about an expired, they may feel rejected. So you got to bring a little life back to those guys. They may have lost their vision. Now here's what I mean. Nobody sells a house just to sell a house. They sell a house because they have a vision of a next level, something they're excited about. Maybe it's a bigger house. Maybe it's a town. So there's something drawing them to do this, right? And if they put their house on the market and it doesn't sell, they actually can take it personal. Like, nobody likes my house. What am I? Meatloaf over here? So they're not happy. They can take it personal. So they lose sight of their vision. You may have to bring that back. Well, where were you moving to? Why there? When did you want to get that by? Did you see any houses there? Maybe even show them some houses. But what I love about expireds, they're like fruit. They get ripe. They learned about proper pricing, and almost always expireds, when they list with a new agent, almost always it's at a more aggressive price, almost always. So here's what we're going to do. Let's go through the expired dialogue. Hi, may I speak with Mr. Jones? Yes, this is he. Well, hi, this is Darryl Davis, Power Realty. How are you? Fine. The reason why I was calling is I noticed your house expired off the MLS. I was wondering, is the house still for sale? If they say yes, you want to clarify, did you put it back on MLS and you missed it, right? They say, no, we're not selling. It's not back on. We're not selling again. Did you sell it? So you want to clarify, is it back on MLS or did they sell it? Well, I'm looking at a copy of the listing and I'm a little surprised it didn't sell. Why do you think that is? So now you're going to hear a lot of answers. Your job is to bring them back to their original excitement, enthusiasm, and commitment so they want to accomplish by asking more questions. Why are they moving? Where were they moving to, etc. So again, step 4 is more of a back and forth conversation. Expireds are easier than the for sale by owner because they already see the value in realtor. I understand this is probably frustrating for you, but let me ask you this. If I had a buyer who's willing to pay your price to make the move a success and we can still get you to Florida, obviously don't say Florida, that's a blank, wherever they told you they're going. New Yorkers, it was always Florida. If it wasn't for New York, Florida would still be swampland. Everybody moves to Florida. Anyway, in the time frame you want and the money you needed, is that something you consider? Okay, so that's another way to ask. And by the way, you mix and match. Would you be offended if I just stop by to take a look and see how I can help you? So that one's that works with expireds as well. The expired voicemail dialogue. Hi, this is Darryl Davis, Power Realty. The reason why I was calling is I noticed that your house expired on the MLS and I have some important information about that. I might even have somebody who could be interested. I'm not too sure because I need some information from you first. Could you please call me back as soon as possible? So that's a teaser dialogue. And I tell you, what I didn't say before is this dialogue and the other voicemail dialogue, power agents tell us they get calls back 50% of the time. Which, by the way, if somebody calls you back, a FSBO, and they know you're a realtor, right? And they call you back on your voicemail, bing, you're going to get that appointment. You'd have to mess that one up now. So I love our dialogue. Okay, now, that was message telephone. Let me give you some mailing ideas. Mark Fritcher, one of our power agents, he went from 17 million to 104 million in 1 year, one of the top agents. And really good with the mailings. I'm going to show you some ideas just real quick. We're just going to touch just like a bonus thing. So power agents, I'm talking to you, sidebar for a second. Power agents, if you go to the farming and self-promotion and the prospecting, and I want to remind the power agents, the power program website is alphabetical in the classroom, right? So if you think, hey, I need help with prospecting because of the P, that's how you find it. And I need farming, so farming is there. Okay. So when you go there, there is a plethora. There's actually over 500 forms, flyers, checklists, dialogues, so much stuff. And you can customize it all, power agents. So I'm going to just show you some of them, okay? Like the for sale by owner, first aid rules. If you're for sale by owner, if you're going to sell your house, don't make these mistakes. Here's some rules to live by. And you'll see at the bottom of that flyer, you put your photo. So this is a great mailing piece. This is a great door. You stuff it in the door. 6 reasons why your home didn't sell. This is great for FSBO expireds. If you can't get them to call you back, you mail this or you don't have their phone number. Another one for expireds, a flyer. Again, if you can't get people to call you back, you can bombard them. Now, this is one of the new things that we created. No, it's not new now, but it was a few months ago. But I just love this thing. This is the Seller's Guide to Real Estate. This thing is it's 43 pages, this guide. Do you see a 43? It's like a book. And you customize it, power agents. You can use this as a door knocking gift. You can use this on your website. You can use it for listing appointments. Put a link in your email signature for people to download. I love this so much. I asked my team to create a home marketing campaign just around the Seller's Guide. Let me show you. We created power agents for you. There is that's a landing page, right? So you can put this on a web page where people fill it out to get this report. You can advertise this report. And we created infographics for you to post on Facebook or Instagram. We created postcards for you around this. Gang, this is Power Agents. All of this is, I'm going to show you, classroom And then when you go to classroom, you go to prospecting, the big P. I love prospecting. And then you're going to see everything that I just showed you, the seller's guide, the advertising, the landing page, how to do, there's even a video on how to do this. All right. Ton of great stuff. Okay. Let's continue. I have so much to give you. We're running out of time. Expired letter. So what you could do, gang, if you cannot find the expired telephone number, you can either A, knock on the door, B, you just bombard them with mailing pieces. Like you'll see this is letter number 7. Like there's a whole series of letters. Just you send it to them like every other day. And eventually they're going to call you either to respond to the mail. Thank you. Yes, I want to talk to you. Or they're going to call you and say, stop mailing me. Okay. So there's a ton of there's a ton of those power agents in the prospecting. So that's all there for you. Now, and they're Word documents, so you can edit them and customize them. And one last thing, power agents, is you all know that we have a CRM for you, a Power Builder. Some of you are already using another CRM. You should continue to do that. But those of you that don't, I want you to know the Power Builder for power agents, all of those letters are already inputted. We did the heavy lifting for you. We put it in the CRM for you as well. So just want to let you know that. Okay, so those are the mailing ideas. So let's talk about mastering the listing conversation when it comes to FSBOs. Now, gang, I'm going to tell you, there is, let me jump over to this webinar. There is a webinar on just how to do a listing appointment, a whole hour, okay, that we did for power agents, and it's in the webinars on demand. So right now, I'm just going to touch on it, okay? I'm going to give you some really valuable stuff. When you do a listing appointment, either in person or virtually, this is that you think sections. You want to first build, something's going on here, build rapport with them, engage, advise, listen, leave. Okay, so that's the structure of the appointment. You first build rapport, then you engage them by asking questions, what you're committed to. Then you're going to give them advice on what they need to do. And then you list and leave. Okay. Now, when it comes to a for sale by owner, the focus of the conversation needs to be on validating realtor, because the homeowner hasn't bought into realtor. I'm going to give you an example of this. We just created this new thing on the 8 risks that homeowners have when they're trying to sell it on their own. And just to touch on these 8 risks, and then I'll show you some other stuff, because the power agent, you can customize this. There's issues that arise from post-closing occupancy. So that it goes into explaining that. 7 is there's complicated legal issues arising during a transaction that a homeowner may not be aware of and how to deal with it. There's problems arising from potential multiple offer scenarios and bidding wars. So a homeowner, if they're in a bidding war situation, they could actually hurt themselves if they don't know how to manage it properly. Lose an accepted offer during the inspection of the appraisal process, because property values are selling so high, we're seeing appraisals could be a problem for homeowners and not knowing how to deal with it. This one, they're a FSBO. They don't have any help. They don't know how to deal with this. They don't know how to deal with selling their own home in the midst of this COVID crisis. You know, there's certain strategies that realtors use to keep a homeowner safe and the buyer safe, risking lots of sales due to a lack of availability of accessibility. You know, when you're selling your house, if you're not home to show the property, it's like you've just closed your business. You know, with a realtor, it's open 24/7. We're like the 7-Eleven. Failing to market the home properly. So anyway, and then failing to prepare the home, like doing little minor or staging items, right? So anyway, power agents, we created this 8 risk thing for you to use on listing appointments or as a mailing piece. But let me show you some other things in validating the homeowner why they should not be a for sale by owner. ForSaleByOwner.com. I'm showing you, this is actually a screenshot. Like everybody on this call, like after the webinar, go to ForSaleByOwner.com. Don't do it now because I have so much more to give you. Go there and you're going to see this site looks something like this. Now, it could have changed from when I just checked it a few weeks ago. So this is from a few weeks ago. There's a sliding scale that shows, can you look at the slider scale? It says save $105,000 in commissions. And that's assuming you sold your home for $2.1 million. Do you see that in yellow? Okay, I'm showing you this for a reason. The guy that created this website, that made a fortune, okay? His name is Colby Sambrato. Well, Colby Sambrato, a few years ago, he was selling his house on his own, but after 6 months, he hires a real estate broker. Now, this is a New York City hot market, And this was before the pandemic. And he hires, so the guy that created ForSaleByOwner.com, not only did he not sell his own property, after 6 months, he gave it to a realtor. Now, watch this. He gets multiple offers, and he sells it for $150,000 over his original price. Okay, so he sold it for more money, and he pays a 6% commission on $2.1 million. He pays $129,000 commission. Let me go back to this. The guy that created this website, he's telling people, don't pay $105,000 in commissions. List your property with me and don't pay a realtor. But meanwhile, he not only did he pay a realtor and list with a realtor, he paid $129,000. Come on now. This okay, wait, there's more. This guy, BuyOwner.com, created this website. Sell it on your own, not by yourself. Do it by yourself. Realtor.com. Here's BuyOwner, the guy, the CEO, he listed his property with a Coldwell Banker agent down in Florida, $3.78 million. Now, here's my point. I'm going to black out the screen. My point is, here's two big companies that are promoting, don't list with a realtor, be a FSBO, and not even a person that owns that company is a FSBO. Hello? But wait, there's more. USA Today, they did a study. They found that homeowners, now this is an old article. This goes back to 2003. 2003, why would I use such an article? Because it's such a great article. The headline says, for sale bonus could be a hard sell. Some of you, if you're new, you don't know. 2003, that market was as hot as the market we're in right now. The appreciation was crazy. Like, you didn't need to, people thought, I don't need a realtor. The market is so hot, I can go to Home Depot, get a for sale sign, tie it around my kid's neck, and have him walk in front of my house on the front. I'll sell my house before I got to call him back in for dinner. That's the kind of market was so hot. And even back then, USA Today found that FSBOs that sold their own home, the average sales price was $137,400, but with realtors, it was $175,000. That means that realtors not only earn their full commission, but it actually homeowners net more money in their pocket by working with a realtor. Okay, so using metaphors and analogies, you say to a for sale by owner, Mr. and Mrs. Hana, you see, when you're a FSBO, it's like, think of a buyer as like you're trying to catch a fish. You're putting all this ads and promotion and all that stuff out there. Every one of those advertising vehicles that you do is like a fishing line. You throw a fishing line out in the lake. You put a for sale sign on the front lawn. That's a fishing line, right? But see, at Power Realty, the reason why those guys, the owners of ForSaleByOwner.com, they couldn't sell it on their own, because you can't sell a house sitting on a lake throwing out a fishing line. You need a realtor, because here's what I do as a real estate professional. Imagine a fishing trawler with a couple of nets. Look at all that fish that I'm bringing on board. This is why most properties are sold through real estate professional, because we just have more fishing, more marketing tools to bring more buyers to your property, you see. And here's the other thing. Even though with this pandemic, I was not going to show you guys this one because, you know, Broadway's been dark for a year, almost a year now. But I just love it. This is a great analogy that communicates it. See, when you're producing any kind of performance, it could be a movie. I should change this to a movie. It's the same concept. You've got all these people involved in producing the end result, the end product, right? You've got the gaffers, you got stagehands, lighting, set design, makeup, costume, everybody. Who do they talk to in rehearsal, producing this? What happened? Who? One person, the director. The director is the glue that keeps it together. See, in a real estate transaction, you have the same thing. You've got all these people. You got you, Mr. and Mrs. Hana, the sellers. You got the buyers. You got the appraisers. You got the engineer. You say you have an attorney who's going to help you. Let's say the buyers, they got an attorney too, title company, home inspector, bank rep. And when you're a for sale by owner, the problem is you as the homeowner, you only talk to the buyers. And if you have an attorney, you're an attorney. But you don't talk to this buyer's attorney. You don't talk to the appraiser. You don't talk to the engineer. You don't talk to those. Your attorney, they only talk to you and the other attorney. They don't talk to the home inspector or the bank rep. You've got all these people not talking to one another. And the scary thing is any one of them has the power to kill the transaction. There's only one person everybody talks to, and that's me, the real estate agent. You're trying to sell a house without an agent is like trying to put a show together without a director. It's going to bomb. Listen, if selling a house was as simple as putting an ad out there, you wouldn't have to be licensed by the state to help other people do this. Therefore, there must be more behind the curtains you're not even aware of that goes into producing this end result. This is what you got to say to her for sale by owner. You know, anything that you're trying to sell, when you're selling it privately, you don't save money, you lose money. Kelly Blue Book is a perfect example. Here, it's just I take a Yukon GMC Yukon. If you go to Kelley Blue Book and you punch in your car, this is what you're going to find. You see the price in there? It says for 2016, when I did this, it's different now. It's a little older. 2016, at the time when I did this, it said from the dealer, the price was 40 to 45 grand. If you take the same exact car and you do from the private, you'll see 38 to 43%. My point here is selling a car privately is going to sell for 5% less in this example than if it was sold through a dealer. Why? Because a dealer is backing the sale. There's more security. There's less risk. Plus, they prep it. They tune it. They make sure it's a good product before they sell it, because that's what you have to do in business. Anyway, Mr. and Mrs. Hanahana, selling a house, this is what it takes. When a buyer's going to buy a house, this is the process that they go through in buying a house. When you're a FSBO, you deal with just maybe the offer and the contract. You don't do the other things on this board. That's what a realtor does. See, we cover all of this other aspect. You've got to bring that buyer through the whole board. This is why the majority of homes are sold through a professional, not privately, because you can't help the buyer in the appraisal process or in the mortgaging process and the underwriting. The homeowners insurance, they need their hand held, you see. I walk the buyers around the board to go to closing. That's what we do. Also, I'm going to tell you again, you've got to be prepared when you're talking to a FSBO to handle all these types of objections, like, because the problem with FSBOs is they think they can sell the house at the same price that we sell it at, and therefore they save the commission. And because of that, they think their house is better, it's nicer, we want to list it higher, blah, blah, blah. Excuse me, I don't have time to cover all this because I think we covered a lot. It's 45 minutes. I still have more to teach you. Power agents, I did a webinar I did it in October. We sort the webinars by dates. Do you see it, gang? It says 20 for the year 20. We do the European way. So 20 is the year, and it goes October 7th. Give yourself a raise, how to get more listings, how to get a whole hour in handling those objections. So I just want to point that out to power agents. The last thing is about getting super organized. Then we're going to open up to questions, and I'm going to tell everybody how to get copies of this stuff. So in the time money management section, I'm going to be showing you a bunch of stuff. This is one of our power agents where she printed out all of this things to help stay focused, these boards. I want to show you, these are my favorite boards that she printed out. One of the things that we need as real estate professionals is cash flow. Our money goes up and it goes down, and it's really related to our inventory. See, let's say you weren't selling real estate, you were selling shoes for a living. The inventory that you sell as a shoe store owner is shoes. That's your inventory. Now, if you have no inventory, you got an empty store. And the same is true of real estate. Our inventory is our listings. So one of the things I want you to focus on after this webinar is not just getting appointments and getting listings, but building your inventory. And what happens is, let's say you have if you had this chart that I'm showing you, it says, hey, you had 6 listings in January, 4 went into contract. So now you only have 2 on the shelves, like the shoes. There's only 2. Now, on the surface, you have 4 listings sell in January. Whoa, that's awesome. That's exciting, 4 listings sell. But the problem is, if you didn't replenish or restock your shelves after that surge of cash, your money's going down. This is why our money goes like this. And if you look at that chart, it's actually telling you that's what your cash flow is going to do after the closings, because you didn't restock the shelves. So what you want to do is not just get listings, but focus on building a business. And when listings sell, you want to try and replenish them and get one more. If you keep replenishing and improving your inventory by 1 a month, you'll double your income in 2021. Another one of our favorite things is the dot boards. One of our students, I'll show you this. I just want to get through these pretty quick here. Actually, I shouldn't do that. Let me go back. Mary Crawford, she said that, this was one of her best years, the year she did the dot board. She did 32 dots, and she said it was because of the board. I want to show you this dot board. It's 3 columns: listings, listing sold, and buyer side sales. So when you have a listing sale or you have a buyer buy a house from you, that's what those other 2 columns. Now, what we did here that Mary didn't have in hers, we actually added a side to the board, which is your vision board. And you all know what that is. But every time you get a listing, you give yourself a dot, you see. And what's funny, you should hang this up. Like, you don't want to do a spreadsheet on this, because what's great about the dot board is it helps you stay focused. It gamifies your business, because when you give yourself a dot, like, I got a dot. So it's fun to do. I have so many power agents that they are addicted to the dot board. Now, by the way, because it's February, I'm going to give a little extra tip. I haven't talked about this lately. What I suggest you do is you get the dot, you put the dot board up, and you put the colors for last year. So for 2020, and you put like a dull color, like, I don't know, blue, not a bright, vibrant, like red is vibrant and yellow is vibrant, green, that neon green. They'll do like a blue, something that, and put all your dots for 2020 that matches the months. Now, this year you put the bright dot color, and now you're comparing this month to last year's same time, and that's a motivator. So I like the dot board. I love it. Here's something else. Power agents, we gave you a daily calendar where you should carve out the time to prospect. Now, I don't care if it's 9 to 10. I told you earlier, there's no right time to call. It's whenever you're going to do it, but you should do it. Just like if those of you that like to work out, I don't like to work out, but those of you like to work out, you pick a certain day and time, and you always do that day and time, and like like a religion, you got to do that with, like, you go to the gym, go to the prospecting gym, you see, and hang up some signs. Do not disturb. I'm making it rain. Do not disturb. I'm planting seeds of success. And when you plant these seeds, do not disturb. This is, you put your picture, your family. I'm doing it. I'm prospecting with a purpose for my family. And by the way, this is good. Like, if your family is upset with you, you say, look, I'm doing it for you, honey. So these are, when you put up a sign like this, you're making a commitment to yourself. All right, leave me alone now. I'm doing this over here. I'm going to create a breakthrough. One of our other charts, Power Agents, is the activity tracker, where the game, again, you're gamifying it. You know, there's other ways to generate leads just from FSBOs and expireds. And the game is, you know, every day you want to do at least 2 or 3 things. Every day you want to do something to bring your business forward. You know, I know this webinar was about FSBOs and expireds, but there are other things that you can do too as well. Now, I will say I'm very excited about this Power Agents. You have no idea what this is, because this is new. We just Julie created this 2 days ago. I had said something on one of our webinars, or on our it was on our coaching call Monday. I said to everybody, listen, if you just forget everything, if you just, like, websites, some of us get so bogged down with websites and social media, and should I blog today? Should I video something and post on social media today, a video? What should I do? Like, listen, you know, all you have to do every day is do 2 things. Talk to one buyer and talk to one seller about real estate. That's it. If you just had those 2 conversations every day, one buyer and one seller every day, a conversation, that would be 60 conversations with potential business. I guarantee you, if you talk to 60 people in a month, you're going to get some business. You're going to make some money from that. So anyway, we created this 30-day challenge thing, where you just put a little check mark. I did one. Now, if you do more than one for each, do more than 2 a day, that's even better. So anyway, that's something we created for you guys. Oh, I forgot about this. Oh, I got so much to give you here. RedX, one of the questions that came in was about how do you get organized, or how do you find phone numbers? RedX is the company, man. They are the best. They find phone numbers for expireds. They find you the FSBOs. They get you. This is what it looks like. You activate an account and you log into your account. This is what the screen looks like. Here's all your leads for FSBOs and expireds and pre-foreclosures. And then when you click on it, it goes deep on that one person, right? So there's their name, their telephone number, the ad, pictures if they have it. And then you can actually keep track of your conversations. If you get the storm dialer, it'll dial calls for you too. So anyway, I'm not going to teach RedX, but if you're going to work FSBOs and expireds, man, oh man, you have to have the RedX account. One of our power agents, Charles Mayone, again, this guy's just kicking it. One of our original power agents took it way back in 2004. He averages over 300 grand every year. One of Douglas Elliman's top agents. And just really, guys, remember I talked to Charles. We're going to do an interview with him for the rest of Power Agents. So we do those too. All right. So anyway, there's getting super organized. Here's what we said. And I'm going to tell everybody how they can get copies of all this stuff in just a second. So number 1 is master the telephone. We covered the dialogue. Number 2 is consider doing mailings in the case where you can't get a hold of those people and just drip them to death. Number 3 is improve your listing conversation, especially with FSBOs and expireds. What did I say? Your focus in the conversation is to not sell you and your company, but sell Realtor. They have to see the value of working with Realtor and get super organized. And one other thing I'm going to say about the super organized is that when it comes to calling and generating listings, especially with FSBOs and expireds, our brain is our worst competitor, right? It's that voice inside our ear. So when you have, like this, I put this stuff up for me, man. Like we wrote this stuff, words, we put this stuff up to help us stay motivated at the beginning of the pandemic. So I'm very much about having empowering things to help you stay focused, because when you don't want to, these things help you stay focused. Anyway, so, those of you that are guests, power agents, stay, because we're going to do some coaching now. But for those of you that are guests, I want to give you an opportunity that you want to grab. And this power program, well, here's what we're doing as a special. The power program is $197 a month, but people can lock in it at the $47 a month. But the first 30 days is $5, and you get complete access to the entire website, and you get bonuses today. Julie, can you still see me on the screen, by the way?
I can.
Okay, great. And you can cancel any time. But let me go through real quick what the program is, and it's real quick. Every Monday, there's a coaching call for the power agents where you get to call in on a dedicated phone number. It's a group coaching. You can ask me anything. I can talk to you. We role play it. We record it. If you want, you can listen to it later. One of our power agents, Brenda, said, you're the best. I'm like, okay, I look forward to the calls every week. Encourages us. Well, I love about Monday, and it's at 11 o'clock. It sets the tone for the entire week is what we've been told. There is a plethora of webinars on demand. Like this is getting recorded. This we're going to post on the website for the power agents so they can listen to it in slow motion. There's a dedicated Facebook closed group, which I've done some screenshots during this call, which is pretty awesome. This energy and support. I will tell you what I love about our group is there's some other really good groups out there. But sometimes they go off the rails. Like people like either make it political or it's negative or da-da. Our power agents, because it's only for power agents, we don't use it as a marketing thing. That we do. There's nothing negative. I was going to say that we police it. It's such a supportive environment. It's pretty awesome. The power agent website is loaded with everything customizable: forms, flyers, checklists. I can show you more of that in a minute if you ask me to. But just to give you a sense of how it works, when you click on the classroom of the Power Program website, it brings you to all these tabs. There's more than what I'm showing you now, but it's alphabetical, right? So there's the B for buyers, coaching calls, then it goes to directory, then it goes farming. You'll see that in the second line. Let's say you go to the farming tab, right? So you need a promotional piece or a mailing piece or a letter, and you click on that. There is so much content. You would have to, I'm going to say this, you probably couldn't afford to pay a designer, an art designer, a writer, and everything else to write the kind of content that we have for you guys. This is not a postcard thing. There's e-guides in there. There's flyer. There's such great, valuable stuff. We actually added the favorite tab too, because there is so much in there that if you click on it, it goes into a separate folder just for you. So you can, out of the 500 items, you can say, you know what, I love these 3 dozen. I'm going to tag them. It's basically tagging it. Also, we use a similar Google's technology. Let's say you type in the word FSBO and find me everything that's FSBO related. Then it just goes into all the tabs and it'll pull out video or checklists or dialogue or social media posts and stuff like that for FSBOs. And one of our power agents, Denise, said, Darryl delivers on everything promotes. I've been a power agent for a week. I'm already a better agent. I love the guidance and resources available. So listen, this is the gift that we have for the guests today, is if you decide to register for $5, here's what you get to keep. You get a 103 PowerPoint slide that you can customize to use on listing appointments. Some of it I actually showed you today. You get a 1-hour video on how to deliver that content to a homeowner. There is an e-guide that you customize, put your photo and your name on it and give it to a buyer or to your listing, your seller, telling them what to expect in a multiple offer situation. If you're a new agent or an experienced agent restarting your business, we put together a 29 guide for you. Here's how to reinvent your business or to get started. We've taken my best dialogue, which includes the FSBO dialogue, the expired dialogue, plus other dialogue, and put it into our 12 best requested favorite dialogues. How to set up a Facebook business page. For those of you that need to know how to do that, that's another gift. We have a 43-page business plan that goes through financial freedom, how to generate now business, how to generate future business. I am so proud of our business plan. I think it's the best in the industry. And there is the 2021 predictions for this year that you can use also as a giveaway or on listing appointments. Plus, you get a copy of today's slides. You get a copy of this recording, 30 days of our CRM. If you need a CRM and you don't have one, you can try it for 30 days. Everything on the screen is valued at that, but you get to actually pay only $5. And if you decide to cancel during the trial, you get to keep everything that's on the screen. But my favorite part, and I really ask that you try us out for this reason, if no for other reason, is to help us hit our goal of paying for 100,000 meals between now and the summer, because it's so needed. There's so many people out there. And how we came up with that math is Feeding America. They're able to really stretch the dollar, right? So every dollar actually pays for 10 meals. So by you signing up for the $5, you're actually paying for 50 meals, and you're feeding a child like the one that you see on the screen there. So I hope you'll not for me, do it for the kids and do it for the people that need help. Okay. So power agents, what I'd like you to do is comment if you have something you want to say. Let us know what you like about the program, because we do record these comments and we actually meet about it in my company. So let us know what you think about the program. And of course, we're going to open up to questions right now. So those of you that have questions, just type them. And Julie, you're going to start reading them, and that's it.
I will. We actually have lots of questions about RedX. So for that same $5, you can join Power Agent, and in the Tech Tools and Training tab, that's a lot of people are asking where that is the coupon, which will give you free 30 days free 30 days of RedX, as well as it's going to waive the setup fee, right? So it's over $540 value. So it's going to be the Tech Tools and Training, and we're actually going to be doing some training with them shortly, which will also be housed in there. So that's exciting.
Yeah. So there's a lot of the coupons are in there, and RedX is one of those where it says right there, the RedX, you get to save over $500 as a power agent, and you get to try them for 30 days free. No other speaker has that deal. We got it exclusively just for power agents.
$5 for 500 is a pretty good deal, right? Plus everything else.
$5 for 500. $5 for 500. Yes. Actually, here's how I like to look at it. You're not even paying $5 for the power program. You're giving it to feed the family. We're giving you the power program for free for 30 days to help feed people. All right, next question.
I love it. Gianna is brand new agent. How do you get an actual listing when the FSBO says they only want to pay 2.5% and you can't list it on the MLS? I've talked to several FSBOs like that.
Yeah. So first of all, somebody that's willing to pay the 2.5%, and if you charge, let's say 5 as an example, you only have to validate why you're worth the other 2.5% and how that other 2.5% is going to put more money in their pocket, more than the 2.5% that they're paying. That's number one. Number two is I would explain to a homeowner, the problem with that thinking is this. If you were getting sued by somebody, you certainly wouldn't go to court without an attorney. And you certainly wouldn't pay the person who's suing you the attorney fees before the courts even starts. Well, that's what you're doing here. When you're telling agents, bring me a buyer and I'll pay you 2.5%. Well, that agent is representing the buyer. They're not representing you. So you're paying 2.5% to have a licensed, trained agent work against you. Come on. If you're willing to pay that, why don't you pay the other 2.5% and let me represent you with that agent? Plus, I'm going to spend my money, not yours, to promote it, to get more agents, which means more buyers, which drives the price. If for salebyowner.com, he wouldn't even not list with an agent. No FSBO should. Anyway, something like that. Next question, Julie.
I like it. Diane, how do you approach your broker about making these calls if your broker says that you can't?
If your broker says you can't, you can't. You can't. If you want to say, listen, Mr. Broker, I'll write a document saying that if you get sued, I'll pay 100% of the bill. You're not going to get sued. Don't worry about it. I mean, that's the only way. You'd have to try and negotiate with your broker if it's that important to you. The other way is if you do the Red X, they tell you people who are on the do not call list. So you can just avoid those people and still call what's left over. Okay.
Awesome. Alan says, when you're telling the FSBO they don't have to pay your fee, then how do you get paid?
Okay. Yeah. That's not what I said. But your question is, I get it all the time because it kind of sounds that way. By the way, before I answer your question, I just want to tell everybody that little floating thing on your screen, like if you like when we end the webinar, this goes away. So you should just click and become a power agent now while I'm coaching. Don't dilly dally, because when we go offline, it's this thing goes away. Okay. I know it sounds like that we're not getting paid a fee. What the dialogue says, and actually, let me just go to it. It says, it sounds like we're working with for free, but we're not. We're saying, if I can help you, let me find it. I don't know if this is the reason why you try to sound. If I could help you get to where you want to go, and you wouldn't need to pay a brokerage fee out of the monies you needed to make the move a success, would that be of interest to you? So I'm not saying that I'm not getting paid. I'm saying if I can help you get the money, you wouldn't have to pay a fee out of the monies you needed, not what you want, but what you need. So it kind of sounds like we're working for free, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if I can get you what you need, period, and you wouldn't have to pay a fee out of that, what you need, I'm still getting paid. Would you consider it? And not what you want, what you need to make the move a success. So that's it. All right, let's go to the next question.
Yes. When a FSBO says they want to sell on their own, but I get an appointment based on saying I may have a buyer but need to see the house, how do I approach the subject of selling their home once on an appointment? So we get that a lot. So
yeah, great question. So first of all, if you're a power agent, you want to go into the classroom, webinars on demand, and the listing appointment. Which, by the way, not only that, but if you're not a power agent, you'll see on the screen, you're going to get a video on how to deliver the listing appointment. And that's the second one that's on the screen right there on the top. But I'll answer your question now. You're saying, first of all, you don't want to say, I definitely have a buyer. You say, I may have a buyer, but I need to see the house first, see how I can help you, see what you've got. Like, you don't want to make it sound like you're previewing it just to preview for a buyer. You're coming over to see what they got and see how we can make this work, which suggests you're going to have a conversation with them. Now, when you're there at the house and you tour the house, you sit down with them and you just start the dialogue. You just naturally, assumptively start the listing appointment, but it doesn't look like a formal listing appointment. You sit down and you say, well, the house looks really nice. Let me ask you again, Mr. Miss Honey, you said you were going to Florida. Where was it in Florida? Naples. Oh, it's really beautiful. What time frame were you looking at? Blah, 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 blah. Well, let me ask something. If I can make this work for you financially and you walk away with what you need, is that something you'd be interested in? And she says, yes. Well, here, let me share some information with you about myself and my company. And now I started and opened up my book and I started a listing appointment. So it's very smooth, very transitional, very, it's easy. Next question.
The metaphors and analogies, such as the directors, that is also in that virtual listing presentation that you see up there. So
yes,
that question a few times. Delane, normally sellers are interviewing new agents before the listing expires in the MLS. By then, dozens of agents are already talking to them. Or do you have a suggestion for getting ahead of that MLS notice?
I'm sorry, you did that question so fast, Julie. What was the beginning part?
Saying normally sellers, they're interviewing agents before their listing expires. So how would you get ahead of that? Because once it expires, dozens of agents are calling. How do you?
Yeah, you can't. You're not allowed to do that in MLS rules. So, yeah, if a homeowner is interviewing agents while it's still listed and those agents are going, they're breaking MLS rules and plus NAR code of ethics, and that's not okay. So number one is don't you do it. Number two is if you know for sure an agent's done that, you should bring charges against them because we need to police our industry to have integrity. There's no little out of integrity. You're either within your integrity or you're not, period. And if we demand people to respect us as a profession, we need to raise the bar of the integrity of everybody, right? So don't engage with that. If you don't get the listing because somebody did break the rules and we're out of integrity, don't worry about it. There's plenty of business out there. Go on to the next one. Next question, Julie.
Jose asked, do you have any scripts to follow up when they hit the market? They are too confident. How do you follow up with value?
Yeah. So, well, there's a couple of things you can do. When it comes to value, this is why I'm just going to go over here because first of all, your follow-up should be, it seems like there's a lot of people hitting the website right now because it's going a little slow. If you go to, as far as follow-up with a FSBO that you don't get, it depends on the conversation you had with them. So I can't give you a standard follow-up. It depends on how your relationship with them. Like, what did you say before? Blah, blah, blah. As far as maybe dropping off things of value or mailing things of value, if you're a power agent, if you go into the farming and self-promotion and mailing section, there is a plethora. Like some of these things are e-guides, which means there's several pages. Some of these things are flyers. There's the flyer FSBO rule that I showed earlier today. But then there's so much other stuff that you can send to them that's in this section of the website for you. I'm still on F over here. Then there's letters. Yeah, there's just so much. So it's there for you. Next question, Julie.
Denise said, I'm the power agent Darryl referenced with the dog picture testimonial. That was my testimonial after 1 week. I've now been a power agent for 3 months. Darryl's program is second to none. Without a doubt, it's helped me elevate my skills and boost my confidence. We're glad you're here, Denise.
Oh, there you go.
I love it.
All right.
If a broker says you can't cold call, how do we prospect for new business as a new agent?
Tell them to change brokers. I mean, I'm serious. This is why I get a little passionate about, our association putting out bad information because it hurts you making money. So, I guess there's other ways like doing referral business, calling your friends. So there are other things that you can do. But I'm telling you, if somebody's got a house to sell and they're advertising as a FSBO, let me be real clear with you all on something. Anybody that sells their own home as a FSBO, I believe they've hurt themselves. If you had a friend who was making a mistake and they were doing bad things that's going to hurt them, would you be silent or would you step up and say, listen, it's because I care about you. You shouldn't be doing this, and here's why. It's the same thing. If I see a FSBO making a horrible mistake, I believe we're helping them. We're not selling them. We're serving them by calling them and saying, listen, this is not a good idea. Here's why. And try and coach them and inform them and educate them. And if anybody's going to tell me, I don't want you to call those people, I'd have a problem with that. I couldn't work there. That's me. Okay. Next question, Julie.
Thank you for clarifying that.
I'll tell you something. I'm not political. So, because you want to know, here's what I care about. I care about my students, period. I care about my power agents making money. So I'm not going to be political. I'm going to say what I believe is in my heart, and that's it. All right. Next question, Jules.
Once we start, after the $5 trial and it starts at the 47, can we cancel any time or is there a contract?
No, you cancel any time. You can sign up for $5. I'm going to give it to Feeding America, download everything, and cancel the next day. Or you can Julie never likes when I say that.
I don't like when you say that.
Listen, well, you can do that. That's fine. That's the deal I'm making. My deal is you can cancel anytime. You can cancel in the first 24 hours, or you can cancel in 2 weeks, or 2 months, or 2 years. You're not locked in.
Or never. We've got been power agents for 10 years.
Yeah, we longer than 10 years.
Longer than 10 years. I know. I didn't want to show my age.
Marty. I mean, I can go through our power agents that are long timers. They've been with us forever. But anyway, go on, Jules.
Delane said, I would like to hire someone to call expireds in my farm area. Any recommendation on finding a good person to do that and set appointments? Yeah, so there's a lot of virtual assistants that you can find. There's a company that we recommend called VirtuDesk, and we have a deal with them that saves power agents hundreds of dollars too. So you can do that. You can find somebody local. You can find somebody who, even a college kid. Let me tell you something. There's people that have been still home. They haven't gotten their jobs back. And if you give them their telephone, they can work from their house and make calls for you to set up appointments. There's a lot of people out there.
And you can pay them not just hourly, you can pay a little bit and then pay them more on the back end when you get the listing and it sells. So they can really do well. There's people that need help. And so you have an opportunity to create work and wealth for people.
I love it. Alexander says, should I leave messages on expireds that are on the do not call list?
Wait, I'm sorry. I just got distracted by Stacy's question about.
I know. I was going to ask that one next.
Yeah. Let's do Stacy's because it's now in my head.
All right. So Stacy asked, how long will the $47 a month last after the trial? By the way, I just signed up. Welcome, Stacy.
So Stacy, the $47 is a low price because of the pandemic. When we raise the price, if you're signing up now at the $47, you're grandfathered in. You're locked in. We're not like Netflix. Like Netflix, I just got a message saying, we're raising your prices. Thank you very much for being a customer. Well, thank you. Thanks for that. So we're not like Netflix. We're not going to whack you more money. When you lock in, you're at that price. Listen, we got power agents that are at lower prices from when we started a couple of years ago. They're locked in at that lower price. So lock in today before we raise it tomorrow. Or whatever.
As long as you stay a power agent. If you bounce out, you go to the higher price.
If you bounce out and bounce back in, you're going to pay the higher. Yeah. So don't bounce out. Next question.
Go back to Alexander. Should I leave messages on expireds that are on the do not call list?
Yes, you should, because Alexander, here's the thing about the do not call list. It doesn't apply to us. And that's the bad information that has been drilled and brainwashed into our heads. The do not call list clearly states you cannot call people that are on that list. You cannot make unsolicited calls to those people on the list. We are not making unsolicited because the FSBO is soliciting calls about selling their home. We're responding to their ad. It doesn't apply, the do not call list. And expired, I won't even go to expired. Even that's a slam dunk because they've already listed with us. Next one.
If someone was a power agent and they want to rejoin, how do they do that?
If you go to, I'm on our website right now, okay? So, whoa, this is a big page. It takes forever to go through it. Okay, so when you're on this page, do you see that little bubble in the bottom right-hand corner? We have, hi, Sarah. We have a team. You see the faces there? These are real human beings. It's not automated. So if you start texting, you're going to start talking to one of our team members. So if you're a power, you want to, this is for anybody. You have any questions, you go there. Bing, my people will take care of you. One of the comments power agents tell us we have the best team that work for a power agent. This is all we do. We wake up every morning thinking, how can we serve our power agents? That's all I do. All right, next question.
Denise, I hired a virtual service and listened into calls, which were unfortunately overscripted. I believe that they turned off a lot of prospects and I lost a lot of money. Not a single appointment in a whole month. I hired a college student who is professional, listens and has a very natural, hoping for better results. And he's a real estate student. That's awesome, Denise.
Yeah, Denise, that's a great call. So my preference, listen, between you and me is that I'm not experienced enough with these virtual assistants when it comes to telemarketing. My gut tells me something's going to get lost in that accent, that translation, because the magic, let me show you something here. The magic in the dialogue, I'm going to the dialogue again, is, give me a second here. Where is it? There it is. Is this number 4 here? Number 4, build relationship. See, 1, 2, and 3, that's a scripted, that's fine. But now when you get to number 4, which is building that relationship, asking questions, you can't script that. It has to be natural, instinctive. It's a conversation, right? So somebody's got to have, they got to have a head on their shoulder on how to talk to another human being about real estate and helping them, right? Okay. Next question.
While you're on scripts real quick, if you'll just show the webinars on demand tab, because a lot of people had been asking about scripts and I was answering them. But in that webinar on demand, you did a whole webinar just on the scripts you need for 2021. And it's so laid out so well. So that's going to be in that webinars on demand tab. And it was just fantastic.
Yeah. So it's right here on the screen. I'm in the live website right now. So just so you all know, because there's so many new power agents joining now, I can see people are signing up left to right. And plus the new power agents that have just came on board. How we do the webinars on demand is in order based on the date, right? And we use the European, we put the year first, okay? So, and then after that, it's the month and the day. So this was the webinar that we did on February 3rd, which was last Wednesday. And this is the one we did before that one, which, by the way, that was awesome. The must-have tech tools in real estate. Now, Power Agents, when you log into that, and what Julie's talking about, I'm going to jump to it. It says the top 10 prospecting scripts. When you click on that, it's going to bring you to the page. And here, as soon as it's done loading, you will see, oh, it's done. You'll see, Julie, there's a big white space here for some reason. You will see the webinar recording, and then underneath that is the slides. So you have to be logged in order for that to work. So then,
slides are awesome.
What's that?
I said those slides are so awesome.
Yeah. So, and then this tech tool one, that was one of my favorites too. This one, anyway, I love that. There's been a lot of good. So I'm going to show you some. This is all the webinars on demand that we have for you, whether it's the listing appointment, negotiating offers, working with buyers. We did the 12 days of training, which was every day for 12 days in the month of December, and that was incredible. So anyway, next question.
Can you go up to the dashboard and show the webinar registration? Because we do have a brand new Power Agent who is wanting to know how to register for the upcoming ones. And we do have some Power Agent only webinars that are coming up. Emily just asked if we have tips for writing an authentic bio. And we actually have, I don't even know if it's up yet, but we actually have a real estate copywriter that is going to be joining us in March to help agents not only write their bios, but also to write really powerful listing descriptions. So if you go up to the dashboard there, or that you see webinar registration, that's where Power Agents can register in advance, even before other agents have access to it. So that's where you can get webinars in advance. That's where you can sign up, and that's one click. It's super easy to register there. And that's where you also see those Power Agent only ones. So thank you.
We're going to be interviewing Tristan, who is the CEO, creator of Lab Code Agents, Tristan's actually an active agent. He's a Power Agent. And so I asked Tristan if he would, do an in-depth conversation with me about using online, generating leads from online, following up, because Tristan does such an incredible job with that. So that's going to be more of a deep dive conversation with you all eavesdropping on us on that one. So that's that one. The loyalty, the buyer loyalty, that's awesome. That's going to be next week. So anyway, what else you got, Jules?
For agents that are looking for the replay link, we are going to be sending that to you, and it'll be found in that Webinars on Demand link as well. And that's also where you'll get the slides. You're getting, how do I get the slides? Just as Darryl, you just showed in Webinars on Demand, you'll get both the slides and the replay, but we are going to email you as well. So no stress, it'll be there. Kay says, when representing the buyer, how do you deal with multiple offers and no contingencies? Offers are being presented with loan contingencies and no appraisal rider. Any suggestions on how to present these offers to your seller?
Yeah, so Kay, I'm going to say something. I hope it doesn't offend you, but I'm going to give you the quick answer. Now, there's a lot that I can tell you, and so hang on one second. If I go to Classroom, I don't know if I go to Webinars on Demand, you will see one of the webinars is negotiating offers. So I'm just looking here. Get your offer accepted in multiple offer situations. I did that on December 4th. I did a whole hour. Now, I'm just going to give you one little tip, but there's a lot more to give you in that webinar, which is you have the offer contingent on you as the buyer's agent presenting it directly to the homeowner with the listing agent. Now, the listing agent may not like that, especially multiple offers, especially if that's not what you do in your MLS, which is most MLSs, they don't do that, even though they allow it. Most agents just call it in, fax it in, email it in, and now you're just part of a pile. But if you do it that way, now you have an opportunity to really validate and sell your buyers to the homeowner. That's my quick answer, but there's other answers, and I suggest you watch that video. Next question, Julie.
Well, and that's where you talk about, like this one, we went deep on one topic, and we just had one of our brand new Power Agents say that he loves when we go deep and he can just really learn on that one topic. So that's the same deal. Some of ours go wide, and we cover a multitude of things, but some go really deep diving, like that multiple offer situation.
Okay.
Let's see. What time are the coaching calls again?
11 o'clock on Mondays. Eastern time. We bill them to 12:30, but like the last one, we went to over 1 o'clock. So went over 2 hours. And because I keep going until everybody's questions are answered. And that's different than these webinars, because here you've got to write the question and then Julie's reading it for you. But with the live coaching calls every Monday, what happens is you can put it into your calendar. We give you a link. I scroll past it quick because it has the phone number there. So we want to not get it. It's just for power agents. But then what we do is, like, you'll see February 8th, which was 2 days ago, that was 2 hours and 6 minutes. But we record it so then you can listen to it later. And sometimes I'll do some role play and some questions that are really good content. So that's why we do that. We also, I'm going to show you one other thing. We actually also do this where we put it on the Facebook. I'll show you. Give me a second. When we go to dashboard, so the dashboard is the classroom is where all the magic is. But this dashboard is where you can go right to the coaching calls, right to the Power Agent directory, which Power Agents keep doing your profile. But if you go to this link here, which is the Facebook page, this is a closed group. Like, you can't join the group unless you're a Power Agent. And sometimes we will post, Power Agents will post things. Here's a food drive. Love that. I didn't even see that yet. I love it. But let me jump to what I want to show you is, hang on. Here it is. This is what I do. Even though the coaching calls are designed for the phone, we use Zoom. So you don't have to use your camera. Zoom, you can just use the telephone number and call in. But I use Zoom because I record also we post it in the Facebook closed group, the coaching calls every week. And what'll happen is, there's Tristan. What'll happen is you can ask questions here as well. And there's a lot of banter and a lot of comments here and a lot of people supporting and coaching each other during the call. So the Monday calls, some people said the Monday calls are worth the $200 a month every week. But anyway, so it's only $47. I know it's a great deal. Next question, Julie.
Yes, Stephen had an attorney, wanted to use him as an expert witness. He asked me to provide him with the CV and fee schedule. Do you know what those are?
So, I don't know what a CV is.
Curriculum vitae, which is basically a resume.
A resume. Okay. So, yeah. So I guess a resume and what you would charge. You know, whatever you want to charge. Is it $100 an hour? And you're going to have to consider your time to do research to answer the question effectively. You also have expense of not working during that time. You also have your expense of driving and getting to the court and all that other stuff. So, just price it out.
Perfect. I'm glad you're on the calendar there. That's such a value to Power Agents. They love it. We can just help them focus. Okay, what do I do today? How do I jumpstart today?
So I see Sarah's going to deal with Mike's answer. So Mike, somebody's responding to your question right now that you didn't get an email, but he just signed up and you checked your junk. Appreciate you checking your junk, Mike. That was smart. Some people tell me to do that. By the way, yes, anybody that has signed up, check your junk folder. Sometimes it goes there because the confirmation email for new Power Agents is from like a different domain than the webinar registration. So even though you might have gotten some of our emails, you may not get that email or vice versa. So just check your junk. If it's not there, all you have to do is you just click on this little bubble over here on the website and you can just start talking to our replies are under 5 minutes, which is good time. Okay.
We've got a lot of people on there talking to us right now. So
I see Eileen checked in. Okay. Any other questions, Julie?
I think that's it.
All right, listen, when I sign off this webinar, that little bubble's going away. So do me a favor, click on it now. Just grab your spot. Thanks, Mike. Always keep an eye on your junk. Okay, Mike, we're still talking about junk mail. Okay.
Can't unsee that.
Okay. I didn't realize. I hope you was making a joke. But anyway, yes, you should always check your junk mail. It's obviously.
Oh,
But
wait, before you close off, that Power Agent directory is so powerful because especially when it comes to FSBOs and expires, we have so many agents that are using that to create role-playing partners.
all right, let me do that. But why don't you talk about Tony right now? So jump to Tony.
Tony, been a Power Agent for months. I sat and watched for a while. Just join and do it now. I've been around over 44 years. Darryl's Power Agent is the best value. Join now. Oh, thank you, Tony.
Thank you, Tony. Yeah, some other people didn't get the email. So listen, if you did not get the email, which you absolutely should, just click on that little bubble on the Power Program website and let Sarah know, or whoever's on the team will answer it. They'll help you through it. Okay, so don't know why we have a lot of people signing up. So I don't know.
Sometimes it does take a few minutes, so it's not instantaneous. The email, so it does take a minute.
Give it 5 minutes and wait, I guess. So we were just talking this Power Agent directory. I'm going to tell you something. Power agents that are looking right now. So now I'm going into teaching mode. Okay, so I don't want to embarrass anybody, but let me tell you something. If I'm looking for a Power Agent in New York or Denver, let me tell you who I'm not going to call. I'm not going to call Andrea because if she's not willing to even put her photo there. So I'm telling you guys, the Power Agents, you need to go into. I'm going to do it again. See, this is good. This is good. This is getting better. I'm going to show you. So if you were in, if you were in the dashboard, I clicked on the wrong place. If you're in the dashboard, hang on, give me a second, everybody. If you're in the dashboard and you go to Power Agent directory. When you're in the directory, up top, it says update my directory profile. You have to be logged in, obviously, but this is where you put your photo. How hard is it to put your photo? Bing, right there, okay? And then edit all this other stuff. This here, area served, real important, because what happens, I'm going to go back to the directory, and let's say I'm going to use that Denver as an example. Let's say I want a Power Agent in Denver because I have a referral that I want to give them. So I type in Denver. Let me see how many Power Agents we have. There's our Power Agents in Denver. And you see, by the way, great Power Agent, Liz Alvarez. I'm going to now get in touch with Liz. And I'm going to say, okay, I give this referral for her. Here's her email. Here's her website. I can check it out. There's her bio. You all with me on this? This is part of your membership that is like free money, free referrals. So make sure you do that. Any other questions?
Karen said, you got me. See you Monday.
Okay. Great.
And do take advantage of that. I mean, be on those Monday calls. We have, agents who really every Monday morning starts their week off right. Every Wednesday, they're here for training. It's just so powerful. Angel, is there a link for Power Agents to refer this service to other agents so they can join? Yes, this same link that you see on your screen, which is darrylspeaks.com/trial. You can share that.
Hang on.
Okay.
There's two things you can do. Okay. One is, as Julie was saying, the link that's on the screen right now. Actually, let me go like this. Give me a second. You can send them to this link, the darrylspeaks.com/trial. That's one thing you can do. And when you do that, make sure you tell that agent there's a field that says who referred you. Make sure they put your name and your email address. And the reason why is because every month we give an award to a superpower agent. And one of the criteria is if you did recommend people. Now, a superpower agent, there's a lot of benefits to that. But one of them is you can get a free call with me one-on-one. And that call is not just an hour. It's as long as you can take it, because I can go longer than you can. So that'll be a 1 hour. That'll be as long as you need for me to help you. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is if you don't want to do that, you can tell people to come to the webinar on Wednesday so they can check out the content. They can check me out, and I'll just sign them up for you, right? So I'll explain like I'm doing now for you. Like it'll look like this. It'll just be a different topic. So tell people to go to the webinar page to sign up. And that page is darrylspeaks.com / instead of trial, just type in the word webinar. And so either I'll do it for you or you can do it that way. So that's the two ways to do it.
Perfect. Thank you for clarifying that. Sharon says, will newbies receive an email about the Monday webinars? Or actually, it's Mondays are coaching calls, Wednesdays are webinars. But on Monday, I don't know if you have a copy of that, but on Mondays, you actually get an email that will give you that calendar that he showed earlier. So it'll get your week started off right. It'll give you your coaching call credentials for that day. It'll just kick you off, and it'll give you that week's link to that week's training. So all of that is on Monday. On Tuesday, you're going to get a link to it.
All right, Julie, because I don't go. So her question is about the Monday webinars. Sharon, here's the other thing: is every Monday morning you're going to get a text with a link to the call for Monday. So as a new power agent, Sharon, we got your back. There's what's called onboarding. So every new power agent, you're going to be getting a phone call. You're going to be getting a text. You're going to be getting emails. So we're going to take care of you during the 30 days so you don't feel overwhelmed as we onboard you to this program. Any other questions, Jewel? I see you're answering somebody. Anybody else?
He says, I'm in. Great info. See you Monday. I think we're going to have a busy Monday.
We are going to have a busy Monday. Well, listen, here's the last thing I'm going to say in a couple of things. First of all, I want to thank every new power agent that signed up today for two reasons. Number one is, trusting us to help you get to your next level. But more importantly, you don't know how important it is to me. It's very important to me. What you did signing up today is you helped feed some families. To me, I want to personally thank you for that. We're going to take good care of you during this. I see Seda has something she wants to say, Jules.
She says, I've been a power agent for 9 months, and there's so much valuable information, and all the webinars and coaching calls are so informative. Great investment. Thank you, Darryl, for all you do.
Thank you, Seda. That's great. That's awesome. The last thing is, even if you didn't sign up to become power agent, everybody, what I want to tell you is that what we do is we don't just help people buy and sell real estate. We actually help them get to their next level in their life. And the money that you make is a gauge as to how many lives you've touched and helped. So go help a lot of people. The money will follow. And I see some other people that are still asking. So I'm ready to sign off, but now all of a sudden it's exploding. So, because once I sign off, this chat goes away and so does the sign up. So I don't want to do that to you. Julie, you want to address these or?
Yeah. So those of you who are saying you're still looking for your email, not to worry. If you signed up, we're going to make sure we get hold of you. We also have a copy of this chat, so we'll be following up. So no stress about that. Gary says you're very authentic. Thank you. Jason just signed up, looking forward to the knowledge. Do we have broker-facing education for recruiting and training? We actually have our friend and recruiting trainer, Judy Lador. So Jason, I will get with you on that. Let me just give you my email. You can reach me at Julie@DarrylSpeaks about that. I can take care of that for you. Is there an option to pay for the year? Yes, there is, Janice, but you would need to speak with Gail, and you can do that on that little chat bubble there on the site. So if you go to DarrylSpeaks.com, ask for Gail, and Gail can take care of you for that. Let's see, publish, near, just received the email. Yay, Sean. Thank you for hanging in there with us. We've got
my suggestion on the emails, the confirmation emails, because we had over 1,000 people. I forgot what the number was. We had over 1,500 people who reserved for today. So it was a big webinar. And so the system may be getting, just a little sluggish because I could tell when I was clicking on the site. So if you don't get your welcome email in 10 minutes of you signing up, then I want you to use that little bubble on the website at DarrylSpeaks.com and ask my team to help you. But give it 10 minutes, okay?
Thank you, Darryl. You really care. Thanks for sharing your knowledge. Agnes is a power agent. Thanks, Agnes.
Thanks, Agnes. All right. Listen, the last warning. Click that little bubble right there.
Click the button.
Click the button. Become a power agent. And check it out. You got nothing to lose. $5. Boy, Starbucks is more than. Come on. All right.
Yeah, and you get over $1,800 worth of goodies, all in this, all for $5. And you're feeding a family. And you can't go wrong. And you're building your business. And you're joining over 2,500 agents in our Facebook group. It's just such a cool community. So for $5,
all right, we're going, Jules. We're going.
Right,
sign up. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye. Click the button now. All right. Goodbye.